Your brain can't tell real from imagined. Have you ever woken up from a dream, heart pounding, sweating, and for just a second, you couldn't tell what was real? What if I told you that in that moment, your brain wasn't sure either? It turns out that what you vividly picture in your mind lights up the exact same regions of your brain as what you see with your own two eyes. Dozens of neuroimaging studies have confirmed this overlap for everything from simple shapes to entire scenes. And this isn't just some cool party trick of the mind. It's a fundamental feature of our wiring that can be both a weakness and, believe it or not, our greatest strength. Today, we'll explore why your brain is so easily fooled and, more importantly, how you can use this glitch to your advantage. Section 1. The neural overlap. Unpacking the science. So, how is it possible that a thought can feel so real? It all comes down to your brain being incredibly efficient. Why build two separate highways when one will get the job done? Research, a lot of it pioneered by cognitive neuroscientists like Dr. Nadine Dijkstra at University College London, has shown that imagination and perception run on many of the same neural circuits. When you see an apple on your desk, signals shoot from your eyes to the visual cortex at the back of your brain. Simple enough. Now, close your eyes and imagine that same apple. Guess what? The same parts of your visual cortex light up. Think of it like a movie projector in your head. That projector can play a film from an external DVD, what your eyes are seeing, or it can play one from your internal hard drive, your memory and imagination. To your brain, both films are running on the same hardware. Several key brain regions are in on this. First is the visual cortex, which we just mentioned. It processes both seen and imagined images. Another crucial player is the fusiform gyrus, an area that helps with high-level visual stuff, like recognizing faces and objects. Research shows that this region tracks the strength of a visual signal, but it doesn't work alone. It teams up with the anterior insula and the medial prefrontal cortex, which act as the brain's reality-checking executives. Together, they work to figure out what's coming from the outside world versus what's being generated internally. The prefrontal cortex, in particular, is involved in knowing when you are trying to imagine something, which is usually how you stay grounded in reality. But the system isn't perfect. The signals from imagination are usually weaker than the signals from reality. So, what happens when they're not? Section 2. The reality threshold, how your brain gets tricked. This leads us to a wild concept called the reality threshold. Your brain seems to use a simple rule. If a sensory signal is strong and vivid enough, it gets tagged as real. If it's weak or fuzzy, it's labeled imagined. The problem is, this threshold isn't set in stone. A sufficiently powerful thought can crank up the neural signal so much that it crosses that line. When that happens, you mistake imagination for reality. This is why the sensation of falling in a dream can make your stomach lurch, or why you might flinch if you vividly imagine a spider crawling on you. Your brain fires off the same stress response whether the threat is real or not, because the neural pattern looks so similar. Nowhere is this clearer than in our dreams. When you're dreaming, your prefrontal cortex, the logical CEO of your brain, is way less active. With the reality monitoring department on a coffee break, the bizarre, vivid world of your dream is accepted as 100% real, no questions asked. That's why you can fly or talk to Abraham Lincoln without your brain batting an eye. But this isn't just about sleep. Ever felt your phone vibrate in your pocket, only to pull it out and see nothing? That's called phantom vibration syndrome. And for many people, it's a kind of tactile hallucination. Your brain, anticipating a notification, literally creates the sensation. In all these cases, an internal signal was strong enough to cross the reality threshold and trick your brain, even for just a moment. Section 3. The dark side, when the glitch becomes a problem. This neural quirk isn't always harmless. It has a dark side that can seriously mess with our mental well-being. One of the most startling examples is how false memories are made. Because imagining an event uses much of the same brain circuitry as remembering one. If you vividly and repeatedly imagine something that never happened, you can actually write it into your personal history. Your brain can store the fake event with the same emotional tags as a real one, making it feel completely authentic down the road. This same mechanism is at the heart of anxiety and phobias. If you have a fear of public speaking, just worrying about a presentation forces your brain to practice the experience of bombing it. You imagine stammering, drawing a blank, and feeling the burn of a judgmental audience. Your body follows suit, pumping out stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline as if it were really happening. In a very real sense, your brain can't tell the difference between a past trauma and anxiety about a future one. In more extreme cases, a breakdown in this reality monitoring system is a factor in severe mental health conditions. In disorders like schizophrenia, for instance, the brain's ability to tell internal from external can be severely compromised, leading to hallucinations where imagined voices or sights are perceived as undeniably real. Understanding this neural confusion is a huge area of research for finding better treatments. If you're finding this dive into the brain as fascinating as I do, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell icon. We get into topics like this every single week, and it's the best way to support the channel and make sure you don't miss what's coming next. Section 4. The superpower. Hacking the glitch for good. Okay, now for the empowering part. If your brain can be tricked by negative imagination, it stands to reason it can be harnessed by positive imagination. This is where the glitch becomes your superpower. You can intentionally create experiences in your mind that your brain accepts as real, effectively rewiring your neural pathways for success. This is the science behind visualization, or as athletes call it, mental rehearsal. It's a technique that has been used for decades by elite athletes, musicians, and surgeons. They don't just practice physically, they mentally run through their performance again and again. When a basketball player visualizes the perfect free throw, they are activating and strengthening the exact neural pathways used during the physical movement. They imagine the feel of the ball, see its arc, and hear the swish of the net. This mental practice builds confidence and makes success feel more automatic when the pressure is on. But here's where it gets really weird. Can you actually get stronger just by thinking about exercise? The answer is, shockingly, yes, to a degree. One landmark study had a group imagine exercising a finger muscle for 12 weeks and found they gained a staggering 53% in strength. Another study focusing on imagined elbow contractions found a 22% increase in strength, compared to a 30% increase for those who did the actual physical exercise. This happens because visualizing muscle contractions activates the motor cortex and strengthens the neural signals sent from your brain to your muscles. It's no replacement for the gym, but it's a mind-blowing testament to the power of the mind-body connection. You can apply this to almost anything. Remember that public speaking anxiety? Instead of visualizing disaster, visualize success. Rehearse walking on stage with confidence, delivering your opening line flawlessly, and seeing the engaged faces of the audience. By practicing the positive emotional and physical state, you're training your brain to expect a good outcome, effectively overriding the fear response. Section 5. How to. A simple 5-minute visualization exercise. So, how can you start using this today? Here is a simple, crazy effective visualization exercise you can do in 5 minutes. First, find a quiet spot where you won't be bugged. Sit down, close your eyes, and just take a few deep breaths to chill out. Second, get super specific. Don't just think, I want to be more confident. Instead, pick a concrete event like, I'm going to walk into my job interview on Friday and feel completely prepared. Third, and this is the magic ingredient, use all your senses. Don't just see the successful interview. Build the entire sensory world. See the room, the interviewer's friendly expression. Hear their questions and the sound of your own calm, steady voice. Feel the chair under you, the firm handshake. What do you smell? Maybe it's the faint scent of coffee. The more detailed you make it, the more real it feels to your brain. Fourth, marinate in the positive emotions. Feel that jolt of pride when you nail a tough question. Feel the relief and accomplishment as the interview wraps up. Really hold on to that feeling. Practice this for just a few minutes every day. It's like forging a trail in a forest. The more you walk that neural path, the clearer and more automatic it gets. You are literally training your brain to win. Conclusion. The line between what's in your head and what's in the world is blurrier than we ever thought. Our brains use the same machinery for both, telling them apart mostly by how strong the signal is. This can lead us into loops of anxiety and even create false memories. But it also hands us the keys to the control room. Your imagination isn't just a playground, it's a flight simulator for your life. By consciously and vividly picturing the outcomes you want, you are priming your brain and body for success, turning a strange neurological quirk into your greatest asset. The life you want, the person you want to be, it's all built first in the mind. So I'll leave you with this. What is one thing you're going to start visualizing for yourself? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to see what you're working towards. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.